Hi, thank you for joining me. We will be starting in approximately 1.5 minutes. We will be starting in approximately 1 minute. Hi, and thank you for joining me. My name is Wayne from Ascend Custom Designs. I am a small business owner and a part of the xTool Squad program. The xTool Squad is a global network of experience makers, educators, and small business owners such as myself. We offer one-on-one demos of the products that we own. The demos are a mix of online and in person. It differs by the host that you select. All the xTool squad members offer demos, material testing, and skill training. So material testing involves testing customer supplied samples under a number of different parameters to get you perfect results. So for example, we will test certain degrees of power versus speed, and then fine tune it with lines per inch and maybe the number of passes that you need to do. I have showed many people how to do material testing. It's really, really simple. It can be time consuming depending on the material you're testing on. The reason why we offer it is you might be looking to purchase a machine for your company, for your business, but you want to make sure that it's going to be fit for purpose. This offers that degree of security. You can send your material testing to the host, or maybe you can pop along if they're local, and you can see the results for yourself. And if it's online, we can ship the materials back to you. I've done this on numerous occasions, and more often than not, it leads to a sale. And for full transparency, when you book with a host, xTool will pay the host for their time regardless if you buy or not. And that's just for demos. When it comes to skill training and material testing, you pay xTool, and xTool will pay the host for their time. And if you do buy a machine within a certain time frame, the host that you choose will get a small commission. Then we move on to skill training, which is essentially a one-on-one masterclass with an xTool squad member. You will be helped with setup and maintenance, software issues, or learning the software, you name it. So you will let the host know your requirements. So it might be that you're new to xTool, you've never used a laser before, which I do get quite a few of those type of skill training sessions. And that's absolutely fine. As long as you let the host know in advance, they can tailor the experience specifically for you. And again, skill training is offered virtual or in person. It really depends on the host that you book with. And then pricing wise, the host sets the hourly rate for material testing and skill training. So that's not set by xTool, that's set by the host that you choose. Right now, xTool is running a promotion that will allow you to book a one-on-one demo absolutely free. So we get to demo our products to you for free, in the sense of you don't pay anything, but xTool will pay us regardless if you buy or not. If you want to learn more about that, you can look at the link below, support.xtool.com/xtool-squad. I'll show you where that is on the website. Alternatively, you can scan the QR code above or go to demo.ascendcd.com, and that will take you to my specific profile on the xTool squad page. For those of you that are tuning in later, my contact details are along the side, wayne@ascendcd.com. Also my phone number, so you can give me a call. You can WhatsApp me or message me via text or iMessage. Alternatively, you can go to info.ascendcd.com, and all my social media handles are there, so you can reach out to me on social media if you want. Today's theme is take online or offline orders with Customthings. So I'll show you just how easy it is to use Customthings. I have slightly different version of Customthings. I'll be showing you the enterprise version, so if you've got multiple stores, but I will show you the Customthings for a small business. So let's just say you're a one-man band or a two-man band. I'll show you the Customthings that you have access to through the software, through xTool Creative Studio. And before we get into the workshop, I do apologize if this is a bit rushed. I'm in Birmingham, and Aston Villa fan, and they won the Europa Cup last night, and they had the parade about half an hour ago. It started, so it started a bit late. So I wasn't able to attend that, but my family members were, and so I attended that virtually. So I was streaming that for me. So apologies if this is a bit rushed. And again, if you have any questions, please feel free to drop them in the comments. I'll be checking them periodically. So this is a rough outline of the workshop. So I'll be showing you the xTool F2, the xTool F2 Ultra UV, and that's not to be confused with the xTool F2 Ultra, so just the standard Ultra. So this is the UV laser, and that's a 5-watt ultraviolet laser. We'll briefly cover some laser safety training. I'll then show you the xTool Creative Studio software. So we won't dive into it too much, but I'll show you how it integrates with Customthings. So how you can just load up a job that an order's placed online or maybe on the kiosk. So you can use a tablet as a kiosk, or you can get xTool's actual solution. And some of the things we'll be working on is customized cards, which we did in the last session. So I'll show you them briefly, but we'll be looking at keychains today. Maybe we'll do a keychain on the F2 and the F2 Ultra so you can see the difference. And then again, questions and answers. Any questions you have, please feel free to get them over to me. So if we jump on to the xTool F2, so this is a 5-watt and 15-watt machine. So it has a 5-watt infrared and a 15-watt diode. So it's able to do a wide variety of materials. So over 300 plus materials, in fact. So for example, you can engrave on organic materials with the diode laser, like slate or wood, and then you'll use the infrared, or maybe you would want to use the infrared for metal. You can engrave slate, for example, with the infrared. You just get a slightly different tone, shade of color. But with the infrared, it's a smaller dot size, and you can get more details with it. So there's reasons why you might want to use a particular laser over a different laser. So this gives you two options. It's very small, very, very portable. So it's about, I think it's 4.6 kilograms to be specific, but let's just call it 5 kilograms to round it up. I took this on the bus. I've took it on the train. It's very, very portable. It's capable of speeds of up to 6,000 millimeters a second. So the xTool S1, which is a gantry-based laser, has a max speed of 600 millimeters a second. The reason that it's able to get these 6,000 millimeter second speeds is because it's a galvo laser, so it uses a mirror to bounce the laser around the bed. It has a 50 megapixel camera, and this allows a live workspace preview or snapshot of what's in the work area. And it has an alignment accuracy of up to 0.1 millimeters when it's fully focused. So I'll show you how to focus it. And in terms of that accuracy, that's about the thickness of a standard piece of copy paper, so 80 GSM copy paper. It comes pre-assembled and is ready to use once you calibrate it. Calibration is very simple. If you move the machine, it has to be calibrated. I've moved it from the NEC, for example. Back home, I had to calibrate it. When I took it to the NEC, I had to recalibrate it. It's very straightforward, very simple process. You also have to do the laser safety training, but we'll cover that. It's, again, very simple, very straightforward. You can do that in advance before you get the laser. The unit comes, like I said, fully pre-assembled, so there's no screwing in things. It's literally ready to use. Very well packaged, I will say that. In terms of the work area, you're looking at 11.5 by 11.5 centimeters. So it's roughly the size of a coaster. So this is a 10 by 10 coaster, which is a standard size. So you have a little bit of play. You can expand that to 11.5 high and expand it. Well, it keeps the 11.5 high, but you expand the width to 40 centimeters, and that's with the slide extension. If you want to find out more information, you can scan the QR code below. That will take you to the xTool F2 on xTool's website. Now, if we jump over to the... Actually, what we'll do is I'll show you the xTool F2. So this is the xTool F2. So literally perfect for doing coasters. So if you sell in coasters, this is absolutely perfect. You can do coasters rapidly. You could do a coaster in real time. By the time the customer's paid for the transaction, depending on the design, the coaster might be done. There's a bit of showmanship in letting the customer see it being created. In terms of buttons, so power button, turn it on. And what I'll do, I've got the hose attached up to the air purifier. So if I go underneath the machine, I just turn that on. So you can see here, there's a red dot and a blue dot. If I just unfocus this a little bit, you might be able to see it better. If I actually raise the bed, there we go. If I zoom in just a little bit, there we go. So you can see a red dot and a blue dot. So there's a dial on the side of the machine, and all you want to do to focus is you want to get that red dot to intersect that blue dot. Just like that. So that is in focus. You can automatically get it into focus using the software. That is the preferred method, but you also have the ability to manually do it. And there's reasons why you might want to do it manually. So for example, shiny tags, so very reflective, so mirrored stainless steel. The AI, the camera, has a hard time distinguishing because the light reflects back off it, so it might not be in focus all the way. So you can manually eyeball it and move it around. But sometimes you might want to take it out of focus just a little bit, but we won't get into that and the reasons why you will want to do that. This is the framing button. There's an emergency stop, big red button just here. Press that in, it will cut power. So don't use that as an off button, as a stop button. It's not. Use it for emergencies only. And then, like I said, I've got this venting into the air purifier. So if you're operating it indoors and you can't vent it outside, highly recommend getting the air purifier. While this guard is down, you're fully protected from the laser light. So you're fully protected from the diode and the infrared spectrums. You can operate it with the guard up. If you do so, wear safety glasses, and we'll cover that in the laser safety training. So with that being said, we'll jump over to the xTool F2 Ultra UV. So I'll be demoing this machine too. If I just move my face, there we go. So this is a 5-watt ultraviolet laser, and it's capable of speeds of up to 15,000 millimeters a second. So it's extremely fast. So you might be thinking this is only a 5-watt laser. It's a UV laser, so it operates on a completely different spectrum of light than the other lasers. But the UV is special compared to the other lasers because for 2 reasons. One, it has a smaller dot size. So it's capable of getting very high levels of detail. So it's like painting with a strand of hair compared to, say, a pen with the size of or sharp pencil with the size of an infrared laser. So the infrared laser has a small dot size compared to the diode, but the UV laser has a very, very tiny dot size compared to the rest of them. What makes the UV special is it's sometimes called a cold processing laser. So it is able to engrave, but it creates minimal heat. So it's not to say it doesn't create heat, it does, but it creates minimal heat compared to the other types of laser. And for this reason, it's able to engrave on a wide range of materials, or should I say for one of the reasons. So what the UV does is it has a high photon energy laser, and it breaks the molecular bonds of the material, and it does so with minimal heat, so it's able to mark it. So if I was to switch to the desk camera, well, it would help if I have it plugged in. So let me just plug that in there. There we go. You can see here. So this was done on the UV laser, and this was a picture that I used of my dog. This is something else. So this is like the fake leather. So this is a ring bearer box, and you're able to get it with such detail, but also not burn. So no char marks. Again, this is a ring plug. It's not like it's pre-bought. This is literally a ring doorbell or ring camera plug. And I've engraved my dog. So this is the same picture that is on this silicone strap. And again, absolutely amazing detail. And this is capable because the UV has such a tiny dot size. So I'm able to get all those details, but it's also very gentle. So you can engrave on pretty much anything. And again, there's certain things you still wouldn't want to engrave. So these are the sweet lids. I didn't engrave the glass on this one, but it can also engrave directly to glass. It's very, very nice. It's the laser that everyone thinks they don't need until they have it, and then they can't live without it. If I switch back over to here. And again, this has a camera in it. It has a 48 megapixel camera, and that allows again for a live workspace preview of whatever's in the work area. So it's not a real-time camera. It just takes a snapshot, and you can update that snapshot. And it has an alignment accuracy of up to 0.2 millimeters when properly in focus. What makes this machine special compared to the rest is it's the masked up glass, so you can engrave directly to the glass. So CO2 lasers can engrave glass, but it does it in a very different way. It causes microfractures, so it effectively compromises the integrity of the glass. The UV laser doesn't do that. It literally does engrave the glass, so it engraves the surface level of the glass. But with the field lens, so you can change the lens that is in the f2 Ultra UV, and you can put the different type of lens in, which allows you to engrave on the inside of glass. So it's absolutely amazing. So if you've ever seen a glass sphere or a glass block and it's got a 3D picture on it and wonder how it gets done, this is one of the ways that you can do it, and you can do it yourself. So it's a very affordable solution compared to what it was a fair few years ago. So I believe these are about £4,000 without any offers. But again, we can get you a discount if you reach out. We can get you an extra discount, even what's listed on the website. Excuse me. And again, this comes pre-assembled, very well packaged. Because of the weight, it's about 22.5 kilograms, so it's fairly heavy. It comes with a metal bracket. It comes with a screwdriver to uninstall or unscrew the 4 screws. There's 2 at the top, 2 at the bottom, to hold it all in place. It's very, very well packaged. So xTool have done an amazing job. I do like to see, and I do judge companies when I order something, how it's packaged, how easy it is. I do judge them based off that, and xTool have done an amazing job with this machine as with the others. In terms of the work area, 20 centimeters by 20 centimeters. And again, you can extend that. So you're stuck with the 20 centimeters height, but you can get up to 50 centimeters with the conveyor belt. And I will show you that after I show you the actual xTool F2 Ultra. So this is the xTool F2 Ultra. I'm going to vent this outside. So this is the hose pipe that comes with it. So it's a simple case of popping open the window. I'm going to pop that out, close it, and there we go. Turn it on. Power button here. I'm going to crank up. This is a touchscreen pad. This is what makes it a little bit different than just the normal F2. The Ultras all have this touchpad. So the F1 Ultra has like a green version of it. The F2 Ultra and the F2 Ultra UV both have this touchpad. I should note that this, and I have used this with the F2. It doesn't come with the F2, but you can use it with the F2, and this is a very nice addition. So you're able to frame, you're able to move the laser up or down with these two buttons, and this is the button you press to start it. Comes with some USB-C to connect it to computer. I have it connected over wireless, so initially to set up, I connected it via USB-C. I set up the wireless and moved on from there. USB port, so I'm able to save files to a USB stick, plug it in here, and I'm able to read it off this pad. So to do offline, so maybe I'm at a craft show, don't want to bring my computer. That's one of the ways you can do it. What I would do now is I would use the tablet. That forces the customer to do all the designs. You got QR codes, so this is why we're using Customthings. They can scan a QR code, it takes them to your website. They're able to design it on your website and Customthings. When they hit process, it will come on as an order, and you're able to download and import that order directly into xTool Creative Studio. It's effortless. It's literally effortless. All you have to do is process the order. So if it's a coaster, all I have to do is select the correct material, put it in the machine, and run the job. That's it. In terms of the work area, I can fit 4 of these. So it's very nice in comparison to the F2. If you're just at a craft fair and you're doing one at a time, that's the one I would take, and it's very portable. This one is nice because of the work area, much bigger. I'm able to get bigger items in there. Very nice. Again, it's fully enclosed. When it's enclosed like this, your eyes are protected. You don't need the safety glasses. If you do operate it with the guard up, so you have to override it in the software on all the devices, that allows you to operate the machine. Some devices won't allow you to operate the machine with the lid up at all. So like the S1, it's a class 1 laser. You do not have the option to be able to operate it with the lid up. You do on this, and if you do, you have to make sure you're adequately protected. And I think that is it for the most part in terms of the xTool Ultra UV. So if we just jump on now to some laser safety training. And then I'll show you the website, some of the accessories that you can get. So never leave the machine unattended. So even with the Ultra, F2 Ultra UV, these are laser sources. You can potentially create a fire. Never leave them unattended. Put these machines on a flat, stable surface. If the machine is making the surface move around, or if you're able to knock the surface and it moves the surface. If you're doing specifically like a picture, so if you're engraving a picture, you will notice that knock in there. So this happened to me at the NEC. When I'm at home or in the office, it's always been on a flat, stable surface. So I've never had any problems. And when I was at the NEC, the desk that it was on was fairly big. And if enough people was whacking into it, it literally did vibrate the cable, which vibrated the machine. And I just happened to be engraving a picture, and you could very well tell the difference. So again, flat, stable surface. Don't modify the machine. And then ventilation. So we touched on ventilation earlier, how I'm venting it into the air purifier. If you're operating this indoors and you don't have access to a window, you do not want to vent in the room that you're in. You want to vent this outside, ideally. And if you cannot, you want to vent it into the air purifier or the AP2 or the AP2 Max. So I'll go over what those are. So if you're using the xTool F2, the baby one, the air purifier is all you need. If you're operating an Ultra like I am, F2 Ultra, F1 Ultra, F2 Ultra UV, you want to use the AP2 or you want to vent it outside, and it's a much bigger hose. So the actual hose pipe does not connect into the back of the small air purifier for the Ultras. You'll need like an adapter if you do, but I wouldn't recommend it as it can't keep up with the airflow. So you might be able to create an adapter to get the hose to work with the air purifier, but I wouldn't recommend it. Never engrave PVC or vinyl. So there's certain materials that you should never engrave. In this case, for example, they create very bad chemicals, pretty much like mustard gas for your lungs, and they also damage your laser. So it's a double whammy. So please don't do it. If in doubt, don't engrave the material. If you're not confident, don't engrave. It's just like certain types of plywood, for example, have very dangerous chemicals in them, like formaldehyde. So you might be able to get laser safe plywood for £1, and that same plywood you might be able to get for 10p from a local B&Q because it's on sale or something crazy. But there is a difference, and it comes down to the glue typically, like with plywood. So always check. If in doubt, reach out. My motto is always, if I'm not 100% sure, if I'm not confident, I won't engrave the material. It's one of the many reasons why I won't engrave customer supplied material. So if I'm on site at a craft show, if I'm not 100% confident, I won't engrave it. So when I do material testing, I always do my research and make sure I know what I am engraving, because you might be able to engrave things, but realistically you shouldn't be engraving it because it's dangerous for your body, also for the machine. And then safety glasses. I have multiple pairs of safety glasses. So I have third-party pairs. I have xTool's safety glasses. I recommend xTool safety glasses. They're comparable price. I also know what spectrums of light they're protecting me from for sure. So these I do know. I always buy reputable brands. So I know, for example, that these glasses do not protect me from UV light, whereas these glasses will protect me with all the machines that I use. So we'll switch over to xTool's website. If I just jump over on that note to the safety glasses, so if I just take off my face. So these are xTool safety glasses, £45 and £45 very well spent. If you operate the machine with the guard open, like here, so you're engraving a tumbler, you want to wear the safety glasses, and the safety glasses will protect you from certain spectrums of light. So these aren't normal safety glasses, they're protecting you from certain spectrums of light. So these glasses will protect you from the diode, infrared, and ultraviolet. And they're not heavy, and they work with most pairs of glasses. So I wear glasses, I sometimes wear contact lenses. There's only one pair of glasses that it doesn't really like, and that's a bigger, thicker pair that I have. But for the most part, it works with most pairs of glasses. You can get third-party pair of glasses that, or safety glasses that will fit over even the biggest glasses. So you do have options, but again, always check, because the critical thing is what spectrums of light they protect you from, and you have that here. So here we can see they protect you from 316 nanometers to 450 nanometers. The infrared operates on certain wavelength, the diode does, and the UV. So the UV, I believe, operates on 355 nanometers. So this protects us from 316 to 450, so we're covered. And that's pretty much how it works. So if in doubt, reach out, and I can tell you, I'm happy to help. But you only have one pet revise, so always be safe. Purify wise, this one works specifically for the F2, F1, and M1 Ultras. Connects up with a simple cable, so it only runs when you're running a job. It's not running 24/7. It's a very small footprint. So you can see here next to the F1, the F2 is the same size, obviously a different color. So I would highly recommend getting this. It's very nice to be able to engrave indoors without being so close to a window. So I have this one right next to me. So I recommend that. In terms of the bigger machines, you do have options with the AP2 and the AP2 Max. So the AP2 is about $1,000 and the AP2 Max is nearly 2.5. So it's about 2,319. So quite expensive, but equally, in order to operate the machine indoors safely, this is what you need to do, and you can cost your products accordingly. I would highly recommend venting it outside, but I know that's not always possible. Sometimes you are able to vent it outside, but your neighbors will not be happy with you, so you want to buy one of these. And it's pretty simple. So that's the AP2, that's the AP2 Max, so that's a fairly big unit. So this one is able to keep up with the metal fab and the P3, for example, whereas this one is for the P2, P2S, the F Ultra, so the F1, F2 Ultras and the variants thereof. And then in terms of rotary, if you want to engrave cylindrical objects, you have two options, the RA2 or the RA3. Other than the price, the biggest difference is this one is magnetic, this one, the RA2, is not. If you're switching between the different chucks, so let's just say you're engraving wine glasses one day and then you're doing rings, and you're constantly switching between these, you'll lose time because you'll have to use an Allen key. Whereas the RA3 is a toolless design, it's magnetic, you're effortlessly able to switch between the different chucks. For that reason, I recommend that one. But if you're just doing a whole batch of, say, cups or tumblers, just stick with the RA2 Pro. You'll be okay. I mean, you're okay either way. It's just one is more effortless to switch between the different chucks. This is the slide extension for the F2 and F1 devices. This is what gives you that extra width. So you can do 4 coasters in this, for example. So you're able to do that. And then the conveyor belt for the Ultras operates in a slightly different way. It's literally like a conveyor belt that you'll get when you go to Tesco or Sainsbury's. So I think that pretty much covers all of that. Then in terms of the software, so next we'll cover the software briefly. And what I'll do is I'll switch over to the software now. First thing I'd recommend going here is the xTool Academy. Click on the machine you want. Maybe it's the F2. You have some official videos. You also have some videos from collaborators. So these again are official xTool videos, but they're with owners of the machine, so business makers, business owners even, should I say. So real people have brought the machine, doing videos, and they're approved by xTool. So no longer do you need to scour YouTube and find unofficial videos. You can still do that by all means, but here you have some proper resources now. So if we untick that and go to general, laser safety training, highly recommend this. I've already done it. You get a certificate with it and you become a laser safety officer. And this is just to be compliant. So you have to do this regardless, especially here in the UK. This does come in handy in terms of risk management. When you're doing craft events, you're typically asked to do a risk management. This will be a part of that. So this does go a long way, and it's also good for you to know. So for example, when operating the machine with the guard open, obviously wear safety glasses, but you would also want to make sure the appropriate signage is in place. So if someone was to come into the work area, they know they need to wear glasses. In my case, I have blinds and I lock the door. So it's physically impossible for someone to get in my room. So I recommend, again, doing that. And you can do that straight away. If we jump over to xTool's website, again, let me just do that now. There we go. Just turned on my lights. It's not helpful. There we go. Okay, so this is xTool's website. If I hide my face again, here you can go to Software, xTool Studio, and you can literally click Download. Knows I'm running Apple Silicon. You can download it for Windows or old style Macs. While I'm here on their website, you've got this local service, product demo. This is where you find your xTool hosts. So you could say, I'm looking for someone in London. Go, okay, top result here, Pro Hub, Paul Steed. Highly recommend this guy if you're in London. Lovely chap, very knowledgeable. These are the machines that he has. And I could go, okay, does he do in person or online? Let's have a look at in person. He does in person, also does online. You'll find most people will do both online and in person. I only recently started doing in person. I was having the office built. It's now fully built. I'm able to have people in the office safely, so it's no longer crammed room in the house. You also have other people. So here, Damien has a P3 and an F1 Ultra. And again, online and in person. If I wanted to book Damien, for example, click continue. I'm able to select time slots. So let's just say, and it gives, you need at least 24-hour notice. So this might be free, but because we're in 6:30 now, so I could go, okay, I want this time at night, continue. I could enter in the name, the machine that I want to look at, continue. This is the information that is required of you. It does not cost you anything to do a product demo or have a product demo. So I highly recommend doing that. I'd recommend going in person for this reason. Now we go back there. So Customthings. So this has been added, I think, January, late January maybe. So this is xTool's. Let me make that wide. There we go. So this is xTool completing the ecosystem that they have in place. So they've got the software. They've got the Atom, which is the AI make. So their collaboration. So where you can upload your own projects, download projects, buy project files like completed files. So they're creating this whole ecosystem. So this helps complete that ecosystem. If you don't have an online shop, this makes it extremely simple. They have a solution for normal people, so small business owners. So maybe you've just brought a machine and you want to start selling keychains or posters. Part of the problem is you can create the product, but how do you get the customers to buy it? Or how do you make it simple for them to be able to send you designs? You might not be tech savvy. This solves all them problems. They've created a platform where you're able to quickly and easily add products. The customer then can customize it their end, so the onus is on the customer. So maybe you're doing a family tree. So I do wooden slices and I do family trees and I put varying names on there, and it can be time consuming copying and pasting, especially if you're doing a 20-person family tree like I've done for myself. It's very time consuming. When the customer designs the project, firstly, that time constraint's all gone. So you're not there copying and pasting stuff there doing all that work. So they're spending the time designing it. They hit submit, and you're easily able to import it into xTool Creative Studio, and I'll show you just how easy that is. So we'll go through an order, and we'll import it. And what I'll be doing is I'll be doing custom things on the website. So I'll be doing the enterprise version. So this is if you've got multiple stores, but same principle applies. So for example, on this one, which is I'm logged in on a different account, I'm logged in up here. So you can see I'm here. If I go to products, I can have my products there, design center, so I can add all these different things, Shopify, so you can link it with different stores that you have. So maybe you already have a channel. So if I go to subscriptions to begin with, let me just get rid of that. So right now on this user that I'm logged in as, let me get rid of that. There we go. I have the free plan. So I don't use this. I use the enterprise version again, but I'm logged in just for demo purposes. So I've got the free plan. So this is what you'll see, what you'll start off with. One store connection, visual product customizer, auto capture custom details, limited asset library. You can upload your own stuff though. Process 10 items a month. If you're able to process 10 items a month, you should, with the profit, depending on the product that you're selling, be able to afford this $29 a month plan. And again, it's for the first month, it's $1. So they're helping you out there to sell. And it might be the profit that you make on the first 50 goes into buying this for the year. Put it aside. And again, it depends on your profit margins. They offer you a way to pay. So they have their own payment gateway. If you go for the more expensive plan, it lowers down that charge from 3.9 to 3.5 and it increases up to 500 items. And again, you can have this enterprise. I have this enterprise version that I'll be showing you. And again, it's amazing. If you've got multiple stores, multiple laser engravers, you can manage them all. You can see how well certain stores are doing, what they're engraving. Very nice. In terms of store settings, you can change all different things. Products, I've added some products on here, but so we did the custom card. I showed you on the other end. But what we do is if we add a new project, I'll show you just how easy it is. Create from xTool blank template. So maybe you're using some xTool material. So I do have some of these products. So minimalistic pendant. So they've added quite a lot of their own materials. I've got these two. I've got these polished dog tags. So let's just say we're doing these polished dog tags. Add product. You can add more images. So this is what the customer sees. The product image is literally what the customer sees. So typically here I would add finished product. I'll make it look nice. I'll take some pictures. Give it a title. Give it a category. Product description. You can use AI to help optimize that description. Variants. So here is where you might have variants in color, in size. So you might have small, medium, large. So with dog tags, I sell dog tags. I have a couple of variations in size. I typically go with a medium and a large. Dogs don't stay small forever. So, you know, with a puppy, you might have medium. Obviously, if you've got a small dog like a Chihuahua, they're not going to grow. Even a small, large dog is bigger than a grown Chihuahua. So you can add variants. And it's simply just click that add variant button and I can delete it just as easy. So I could go, do you know what? The color might be a variant too. So I offer silver, rose gold, and black maybe. So you don't have to list them as separate products. You can just list one product and they're able to select different variations. So another good example would be tumblers. You offer a certain size of 20-ounce tumbler. The only difference is you do blue, red, and green maybe. So once you do that, you hit next, and you got this design area, and you're able to select the design area. So I could click here. This is where you would upload a picture of the product. So the same picture that happens to be uploaded already, you would add that picture, and you're able to set the boundaries. And then you've got this here, template, text, upload image, doodle. So these are the options that you want to allow customer to have. So you might only want them to be able to do text. So on a dog tag, I wouldn't want them to upload an image. I'll let them doodle. So if they want to, write something handwritten, so they can use their physical finger to draw on the screen or on the kiosk, let them do that. And text. And then here you would select the parameters. So polish dog tag. And then you would publish it. It's really, really straightforward. If I take you over to the website, and what we'll do is we'll go over here and we'll go to products. So if I maybe refresh this, wait for this to load. There we go. We got products. So here we'll do some keychain. So I have literally some blank keychains, and we've got a couple of variations. So because this is a demo account, we put the type of machine in front of it. You wouldn't typically do this. You would just say keychain. Here, RM stands for retail marker. So xTool have a solution specifically for stores, so in-store solution. So the retail marker is a class 1 laser. So you can't operate it with the guard open, and it's effectively a F1 Ultra. But again, you can't operate it without the guard down, so it's fully enclosed. So it's perfectly safe to be in a retail environment. You can't have people accidentally open the enclosure and get injured. It's also good for education or schools because class 1 lasers are a must, especially for lower education. So for teaching students about lasers. But the retail marker can only be used with the Customthings solution. So you can't hook up xTool Creative Studio. It doesn't work that way. So here we're going to select the F2 one. And then maybe we'll do one side on the F2, one side on the F2 Ultra UV. If I click Edit, this is under the xTool Selected category. And here we're able, again, to add variants. So it might be thickness, size, shape. We're not going to allow that right now. It only has one customizable area, the front. But as we know, you have the front and the back. So what I'll do here is I'll add a face. And we'll go the back side. And here I'm going to go apply to more variants. I don't know if this will work to set in the customizable area. We'll see. No. So here you would have to upload the image, which I actually don't have, so I won't do that. I'll scrap that. But that's how you would add the back. You would just add this image. Here is where you select the parameters. So you can vary the parameters based on the side. So the reason why you might want to do that is, for example, let's just say a slate coaster. So it's slate on the top where you would engrave, but on the back it might be like a velvet type of material stuck to it. It's not typical. Obviously, usually a slate coaster is slate both sides, but that's just one example. You can get like a felt backed slate coaster. And maybe if you're engraving with the UV, you can engrave that felt fabric, but you would want to engrave it on a different setting, different speed, different lines per inch. Otherwise, you might burn it. You won't get ideal results. So you're able to differ the parameters based on the side that you're engraving on, which is a fantastic idea. The z-axis here is literally the thickness of the material from the base. It's easily you're easily able to get this by doing a autofocus in the software to get the ideal distance away from the laser. And then this customizable reason here is if you're going to place it in the machine, it's where roughly you're going to place it. So if you have a jig you can literally make it so it automatically aligns to that jig every single time. So let's just say you have a jig for a coaster. So rather than just put it in the bed, you have a jig in the machine that you screw into the base plate, and you can literally make it dummy proof. So you have those options. Again, here you're able to select different options. So text, upload image, doodle, image. I'm going to allow all of these things. Maybe I want someone to upload an image to the keychain and engrave it. How will it turn out? I have no idea, but we're about to find out. We'll do this live. Images. So images are pre-stock images that you let the customer have or access to. So if I click on this here, they have access to these images. So they can click on this, I think it's called stickers, and it will show them these images, and they can then use that image as part of their design. Obviously, text is, they can use text, they can enter text in. Doodle, again, is where you just draw with your finger. These are the stores. So this is the enterprise version. What stores you want this keychain to be available in. I'm running it on the CES US store. We'll leave it. But one of the things I will add is some templates I added. So I'll say, do you know what? Card templates, Father's Day. They might want to do Father's Day keychain. So I'll add that. And you know what? I'll add birthday ones too. So the birthday and the card, these are two ones that I give it a tag for. When I created the templates, you can assign different tags, and they will categorize them accordingly. So these work for both birthdays and are good for just cards in general. So I'll click OK on that. Now that is there, I can sort these. So if I click on sorting, I can go, okay, birthdays first. It's very easy. And if I hit publish, it will now publish this. So if I switch over to my laser engraver, I'll show you how it is on the kiosk. So the first thing I want to do is just update this kiosk. And you'll know if there's an update because this little thing here would go red. So it should. Right. Click on it, you might just see it's just loading. Yeah, just click there. Let me check Wi-Fi. Yeah, Wi-Fi is enabled. Let me reboot that because I've not used this for a few days and I have been messing with my Wi-Fi. I've been rearranging stuff here in the office, and with that being said, I do have something special coming up. So as you know, xTool are constantly releasing new products. So hopefully in the next week or two, I can show you what's in store and you'll be very excited, hopefully. So that's just booted back up. But while that's booting up, I'll show you their actual store. So this is xTool's actual store. If I just reload this page. And again, if we go to this xTool selected, because we know that's where it's listed under, and we'll click the appropriate one. So the F-tool, F2 rounded keychain. So they recommend Chrome for the best experience, but I've used it with Safari and Edge. Fine. So take that as you will. Here you can see the different options. So if I move or disable my face even, there we go. So text, simple case of text. So enter my text here. Maybe I'll just go Wayne. There we go. So we're designing this, and then we'll go, you know what, we want that font, that font. I would recommend you limit the types of font that's available to the customer. The ones that look good. Certain fonts might not look good on wood, for example. So this this effect, if it's really small, it might not look good. So always check. If in doubt, just don't give them the options. Also, if there's too much choice of font, customer can get delayed and spend a long time dilly-dallying, so to speak. So those are the different Waynes. I actually think first one will come out nicer, so I'm just going to delete that. In terms of images, Again, this is what I said. So assets that are available for the customer to use. What I'll do is, I don't want any of that. I'm going to try out a template and I'll do Father's Day. Confirm. So templates will erase the design. It will basically give them a pre-made design that they can only edit certain aspects of. So the only thing they can edit here. So, you know, Father's Day is coming up. You got Dad, you got Wayne. I set the default font to Blackjack. And it's that simple. That design is done. Confirm design. Done. So, two things. Because I didn't do that on the tablet, you got two ways to access this. So on the back end, if I go to orders, if I click on this rounded keychain, you can see the order here. If I hit this process button, it will open up automatically in xTool Creative Studio. Alternatively, I can download the XCS file or the PNG file. So the PNG file is literally just that. So I don't know how useful that is. That just shows you what the customer's ordered. It doesn't help you engrave it, the image, but it might be good to know. So if I hit process, it's just opened up and that's it. Boom. It said 7 mil. It's got that in there already. Obviously, I've not put this in the bed. So what I'll do is, if I switch over to my engraver camera, open that up. Move this away. I don't know if you can see, but that is perfect focus because we've added that thickness in. So if I switch back to the software, what I can do here is select the picture. It's there. Just like that. In terms of settings, all set and ready to go. If I do hit the frame button now, and you should be able to see that if I make that full screen, you can see pretty much ready to go. You know, and this is where the jigs come in handy because you're not, although you have this frame area, the jigs are restrictive in terms of the product's movement. So you're able to easily align because you lose time. If you was to do this day in, day out, you want to obviously engrave as quickly as possible and you want to spend the least amount of time doing things like slight adjustments to it. So I'm happy with that. If I undo the framing, if I take a picture again, it will take an updated picture. You can see it just moves slightly. If I hit process, 15 seconds. I'm going to hit start. I have to close the enclosure. Enclosure closed. Hit start. And now I have to hit the button on the side. So if I zoom out, you'll hopefully be able to see it. I'm going to hit this button here. Unfortunately, don't know how well you can see that with the autofocus. But that is done. And if I go to my desk, done. So again, if we offered the ability to do both sides, we would have that ability to do both sides and it would download both sides of it. So again, you can see the quality of that because we've set the ideal parameters, 15 seconds for a keychain. How much would you charge for a custom keychain? The customer can see that by the time they've paid for it, their keychain will be done. There's a bit of showmanship involved in this. And the customer spent all the time doing the engrave or doing the design. So it's very, very handy. So there is another way that you can do it. If you're using the kiosk, you can actually do orders through the kiosk. So by that, I mean, if I get this same one, if I do full screen, if I just hit customize, I've rebooted this machine. What I'll do is I'll update it. So I am connected, sure. And I will update it. No, might have to, there we go. So you can see, we might have doing it too fast. There's a red dot just there. And update, confirm. So xTool offer 3 versions of their kiosk. This is just their tablet. They offer a kiosk that's freestanding on the table, and then a truly freestanding floor, freestanding kiosk. And they vary in price. The devices, so these are the devices that are linked to the account. I'm going to connect the F2. I can modify the settings. Again, this is password protected. The customers can't access this area. But if I go to order lists, I can see orders. So I can see that is completed. But if I hit process, I can actually do this again. And you can see that this is in the tablet. I can go frame. And it is framing it. So if I zoom out, so I'm able to do the other side of this. And if I was to stop framing, I can take a picture. It's there. So you can do all this process if you have this, or if you have a kiosk in store. Rather than logging on the back end, you can do it all through this interface. If I hit process, again, I got to close. So I'll close this, hit process. Now it will let me continue. And again, up here, it will have front and back. So here it's just the front. See if it will let me, maybe not. Yeah, no, maybe because I've already processed it, marked it as complete. Yeah, I think because it's already marked as complete, it won't let me do it. But the same process is to be followed. So you send it, hit that to start it, and it's all done. I quite like that I can log in on the back end, so on the orders through the website. I can download it. I can import it directly into xTool Creative Studio. And again, we're just out of time, unfortunately. If anyone has any questions, please do feel free to reach out. This is new software. So it's software as a service, operates online. So you have an online account. It's very effortless. And again, you can work this through software. So if you just have a normal account, which most people will, you can go to this custom things. I'm just going to leave that completely. If I was to just delete that, custom card. You can hit this here and it will share the URL for that specific item. Same with this. In this case, I'm just going to edit it and just show you color. So I've got color there, blue, red, yellow. Might be that I go green. There is a green option. I do have green. And then in terms of the work area, just text doodle. And I'll do template. I can add a template. I've not added templates on this, but I can add a template. It's literally just that simple. The hardest bit is just setting this work area. This is where you upload the images. This here just needs to be approximate because this is what the customer will see. This bit here, the work area here, this is what's important. So the actual engravable area, 95 millimeters, so 9.5 centimeters wide. That is all I want to give them to engrave, because I believe there's 40, there's 5 mil difference. So I think it's 10 centimeters or 100 mil wide. So I've said 95 just because I want to be a bit less. I don't want to do edge to edge. And the same with the height. I've given a little, 2.5 mil roughly each direction. So I've made it smaller. But in this case, I've said 138, 99. That's approximate. This is perfect. And that is the area they can edit on. And then you set the price. And honestly, have a play with it. Reach out to me if you're struggling, and I'll be happy to help. I'll be online tomorrow. I'm just finalizing the schedule for next week. Hopefully I can show you what I'm planning to show you. If not, I'll probably be doing custom things as how I'm using that on a day-to-day basis. Again, if anyone has any questions, please feel free to reach out. Thank you for tuning in.